Understand your Medicare options. Thank you for watching this short video. If you have questions about your Medicare plan options, hopefully we can clear some of those up in this short video. I'm here to help. My name is Doug West. See my number there, 580-298-7957. I'd be glad to help you with it. But even if you don't decide to work with me on your options, I hope this video will give you some clarity on some things. Now, let's cover the Medicare basics, because if you're new to Medicare, or even if you've been on Medicare for a while, you may not understand the basics. And the basics are, there's a lot of letters involved with Medicare. Parts A and B are the main two parts of Medicare. And basically, Part A is for hospitals. So, you keep that in mind. Part A is for hospitals. Now, there's some other things that are thrown in there with the hospitals, but basically that's it. Part A is for hospitals, and Part B is for doctors. Now, you might say, well, I could just have Medicare, couldn't I? I don't have to worry about having anything else. And that's true. There's a lot of options for you, but you could just take Medicare Parts A and B. In fact, you don't have to have B. Part A, if you work for 10 years in the United States and paid taxes, the government gives you Part A, which basically covers you at the hospital. And it's pretty good coverage for, not having to pay anything for it. Part B, for doctors, you have to pay for. There's a premium that you pay. Currently, as I'm recording this video in 2021, it's $148. Last year it was $144, so it goes up a little bit every year. Now, both A and B have deductibles that you have to pay. If you go to a hospital, there's a deductible, and currently it's around $1,500. And that is not an annual deductible, by the way. You would pay that deductible every time you go to the hospital. Part B does have an annual deductible, and it is currently around $200. Now, both A and B are 80-20 plans, which means that they pay 80% of the bill and you pay 20% of the bill. So if you went to the hospital and had a $100,000 bill after your deductible, let's say it was $100,000 and $1,500. So the $1,500 would be your deductible. You would have to pay $20,000 and they would pay $80,000. So again, for not having to pay for it, that's pretty good coverage. Now, if you want Part B, that will cost you a premium every month. Most generally, for most people, it's taken out of their Social Security check. So both A and B have deductibles. Both are 80-20 plans. But the bad part, if there is a bad part, is that there are no out-of-pocket maximums. In other words, you don't pay so much for that particular year, and then you end up paying nothing after that. That's not true with just Medicare. So if you had $1 million hospital bill, you would pay 20% of that, or $200,000. There's no maximum. That keeps going forever. And again, that Part A deductible is not per year. That's really per benefit period is what they call it. So it can be a little confusing. But basically, you may have to pay it every time you go to the hospital. So, again, that's good coverage. But how do you improve on the Medicare Basics Part A and B? Well, there's basically two options for you. The first one is Medicare Supplements. And Medicare Supplements are a nice way to go, and a lot of seniors take that route. The other option is Medicare Advantage Plans. So what are these plans? Let's talk about these now, and let's just get into them a little bit. You cannot have both. You can have a supplement or an Advantage plan. You cannot have both. With both of those plans, you have to have A and B. Again, B is optional. You don't have to take B out of your check if you don't want to, and some veterans don't really need to. They may choose to give them more options. but you do have to pay a premium for Part B. But to have a supplement or an Advantage plan, most generally you're going to have Parts A and B Medicare. So let's talk about Medicare supplements. A lot of seniors go this route. They were around before Advantage plans. They are sometimes called Medigap plans because they fill in the gaps that Medicare does not cover, like that 20% that we talked about. Some supplements help you on your deductible, some do not. You still have to pay an annual deductible. Like a lot of plans do not cover the Part B deductible, so it's a couple $100 on the Part B deductible that you'd have to pay at the doctor's office. You always have an additional premium, a monthly bill that you're going to have to pay for a Medicare supplement. You can basically go anywhere with a supplement, and that's why a lot of seniors like them, because you can go to any doctor that takes Medicare. Believe it or not, there are some doctors and providers out there, facilities that do not accept Medicare. They don't want to work with the government. They won't take it. So you couldn't use your supplement there, but you can use it just about anywhere. So people like that. Another good feature is that you cannot be turned down when you first qualify at age 65 or when you become disabled. If you're disabled and you're drawing a Social Security disability check, that means you worked for 10 years before you became disabled. If you're drawing a Social Security disability check and you're under age 65, you can begin on Medicare after you have drawn that check for 24 months. Until then, they won't let you on Medicare. There may be other state programs that you could qualify for, but after 24 months, you can get on Medicare. Premiums will increase as you age with a Medicare supplement. That's just the facts of life. The older you get, the more you're going to pay every month for that. Now, again, not all supplements have to cover the same things, but they don't have to be priced the same. In other words, if you get a Plan K, for instance, there's a bunch of letters on the plans, right? If you get a Plan K, it doesn't matter what company you purchase that from. A K is a K is a K with any of them. The only difference is the monthly premium that you pay. Now, some companies give you a really good price on the premium, but they're worse about raising their rates. And I watch those things like a hawk, so I always help my Medicare clients figure out which one will work best for them. Now, what about Medicare Advantage plans? That's the other option. Remember, we can either go with a supplement or an Advantage plan. Many times these plans are zero premium plans. Now, you still have to pay your Part B to the government, but this plan many times doesn't cost anything additional. Now, there are Advantage plans that you have to pay for, but I don't think, I've only helped a couple of people get one of those plans, and they just preferred it for some reason. Most people go with the zero premium plans. And what's interesting to me is in some counties, these plans all vary by county, but in some counties, the zero premium plan will be better than one you have to pay for. Go figure, but we watch those and we help people with that all the time. You do have to keep Part B Medicare, just like we mentioned, and that's with Advantage plans or most supplements. Now, these Advantage plans are what you see all the commercials about. Joe Namath and all the retired ball players talking about the different advantages of the Medicare Advantage plans. Now, those commercials are good in that they do alert seniors to the fact that there are Advantage plans, but sometimes they can be a little misleading, I think, and can cause some confusion. So what is the advantage of an Advantage plan? Well, they do include things like dental, vision, a gym membership many times, A lot of seniors want to go work out, they can get that. Over-the-counter items like vitamins and Aspirin or anything like that that you might buy at the drugstore. You can even get things like blood pressure machines and all those little devices you put on your finger to tell you your blood oxygen count, Band-Aids, lotions, potions, things like that. Most generally, this varies by plan, but kind of a good general rule is they usually give you like $50 every quarter that you can spend on those things. And some companies will give you a card you can use at your local CVS, and other companies will ship it right to your door for you. That's the over-the-counter items benefit. Now, it might be more or less than $50, but that's kind of a good overall uh, level that a lot of them are at. You can get things like rides to the doctor, and you see those advertised. And many times it doesn't cost you anything to go see your doctor, unlike if you just had Medicare or you have a supplement that does not cover your Part B deductible. An Advantage plan, oftentimes your primary care physician that you select, so you just see if your doctor's on the plan. That's one of the things I do with people is help them see if their doctor's on there. If he is, it won't cost you anything to go see him, your primary care physician. Now, if you go to a specialist, it might cost you $20, $30, $40 to go see him. A lot of seniors like these plans for that very reason, because they have a supplement or they have nothing other than Medicare, and they don't have a couple $100 to go to the doctor, or they don't want to spend that $200. On an Advantage plan, many times you can go see your doctor for nothing. Most Advantage plans have networks, and so some seniors don't like it because of that. But if you understand how they work and you select the right plan for you, a lot of times it's not even a problem, because where you would go is in the network. So that's what we check too, to see if the place you would get your health care from is in the network. And then there are some other ways you can maximize your benefits that I share with my clients to make that even less of a problem about the networks. But they do have networks where the supplements normally do not. So, which option is right for you? Well, if paying an extra premium each month is not a concern, or if you want the flexibility to go to nearly any doctor, then probably a supplement may be for you. But what if you're on a limited budget, or you don't want to pay extra for dental or vision or rides to the doctor, over-the-counter items, etc.? If that's the case, Medicare Advantage may be right for you. It's really that simple when it comes down to which one of those options you want to check to have along with your original Medicare. So which one's right for you? A lot of it depends on your personal situation, and then what we try to do is help you find out which one offers the best benefits in your county. Again, Advantage plans vary by county, and so does the price of supplements vary according to where you live in the country. I wish it wasn't that way. I wish everybody could get the plans that they have, like for instance in Louisiana. Some of you folks that live there, and I've got clients in Louisiana, they have some awesome plans down there for Advantage. I wish we could get here in Oklahoma, but they're just not available here. What about prescription drugs? That's a big thing for seniors. And see, Medicare supplements normally do not help with your medications. So that's something to keep in mind. Your supplement company might give you a discount card or something that will help you at the drugstore. If you don't have any kind of coverage for prescription drugs, I always encourage people to download the Good RX app. If you have a smartphone, that app will a lot of times get you sometimes even better a price than what an insurance price would be for you. Now, many Advantage plans include Part D. Part D, it's the easiest one to remember. Part D for drugs. So you have Medicare Parts A for hospitals, B for doctors, D for drugs. And actually, Advantage plans fall under Part C, Medicare. That's where they fall under. But many Advantage plans include the Part D drug benefit. Of course, if you're a veteran, you can get medications from the VA. Many times that will be zero for you. So a lot of veterans go that route, and it opens up additional opportunities for them on their Advantage plan. Part D plan is extra if you have a supplement. A lot of people have a supplement, and then the supplement may cost them $100, $200 a month, and then their Part D drug plan could be $20 to $100 a month, depending on where they live in the country. So you have to consider all the cost to determine which plan would be right for you. So who are we and how can we help you? Yeah, that's it question there. Who are you and how can you help me? That's what you're probably thinking. My name again is Doug West, and I'm a licensed Medicare agent and advisor, and I'm licensed in these states, at least when I'm making this video. I may add some states as I get clients in those areas, but Arizona, Louisiana, Michigan, Minnesota, Mississippi, New Mexico, Ohio, Oklahoma, which is my resident state where I'm at in southeastern Oklahoma, Oregon, South Carolina, Texas, Virginia, and Washington. So again, my name is Doug West, and I appreciate you listening to the video. Let me tell you just a little bit about me. Who is Doug West? Well, I'm a grandfather. I'm a great-grandfather. I've been an Okie since about 82. I was originally born in Kansas. Grew up in Topeka, and went to electronic school up in Kansas City. So I'm a big Kansas City Chief fan, Royals fan. If that goes against your team, please don't hold that against me. I've been to many finance schools in Oklahoma City and around the country, different seminars and webinars and things on different areas of finance. My father worked most of his life with school teachers and school employees with their retirement 403B benefit, and I worked with him in that for a couple of years, and then I went into teaching trading, taught people how to trade, and got into a lot of different types of trading. And I was shocked when I went into years ago. I was worked for AT&T as an electronic technician. That's what the school I went to in Kansas City taught me, and I went to school. I went to work for about 10 years for AT&T before my job went to Mexico. And I was shocked when I went into the office one day about my retirement benefits and where that money was going, and you had certain options, and nobody knew anything about it. And they said, "Oh, talk to Carl. He knows all about it." Well, I talked to Carl, and he didn't. He knew very little. He knew less than I did. So that's very common. Years later, I got a part-time job driving people to the doctor, and I took people to dialysis and hospital appointments, doctor's appointments, and they had an excellent 403B plan there. And I went into the same thing. Went into the office, asked them about our options on where we could put that money. And they had a good 403B because you put $1 in, they'd put $2 in. So you immediately got 200% on your money. But I was shocked that hardly anyone in the office knew much about it. And so that's common out there. And I've helped a lot of people with their retirement options. So I have to say I love helping seniors with Medicare. I really enjoy it. I had a woman that sent me a copy of her bill that she had, went to the hospital, and it was almost $129,000, and she had to pay $48. And things like that just make my day when I see that. So let me help you make informed choices. I would love to work with you, and it's a free consultation. I'd love to talk with you about your Medicare options. You can make an appointment on my Facebook page, or you can call and leave me a message. There's my number, 580-298-7957, or visit my Facebook page at facebook.com/Stress-Free Medicare is the name of my page. Or you can get on my mailing list. I would encourage you to do that for even more informational videos on your Medicare options. I'll review some of the most common questions I get, like, what do you think about UHC, the United Healthcare ARP plan, AARP? Well, people ask me that, or what do you think about Humana, or what do you think about this? I cover that on some videos. What about that? Here's a question you should ask. Do I qualify for Medicaid? That's the state-run program. Medicare is the federal government. Medicaid is handled by your state. Do you qualify for that? If so, it's something you should really know about. Should I get Medicaid if I do qualify? We'll cover that. When should I take my Social Security check? A lot of seniors want to know that. And there are some times when you might not want to take it right away. Again, that depends upon your situation, and the Social Security office many times not a lot of help. Many more retirement topics that we'll cover on those videos. So to get on my mailing list, visit my website and subscribe. Just go to, don't worry, I won't rent or sell your info to anyone. And if you decide to put me to work for you, I'll treat you just like family. A good family. I know you might have some family members who say, whoa, please don't treat me like that. I have some of those too, but I'll treat you like a good family member would treat you. So visit my website at www.medicarewithoutstress.com to get on my email list. You'll see some other informative videos that you can look at. My wife Linda and I look forward to meeting you. There's a picture of Linda. We've helped a lot of seniors. She helps me with appointments and things. So you can subscribe now at www.medicarewithoutstress.com, or you can set an appointment on my Facebook page, and you'll see a link to that on the website. So again, we'd love to work with you. See the details below this video. If you're watching this on YouTube, there should be links there where you can even download a PDF copy of this presentation, so it can give you a refresher. I know I covered a lot of things, covered them quickly. Good thing about video is you can always watch it again. So appreciate your listening to me. I sure hope that you have us work with you, and enjoy the rest of your day. Thanks for visiting.